Hey guys, Sonic here from TGG and welcome back. So today, I am here with my Warframe, my heavily opinionated Warframe tier list, part 3. We're going over the Great tier today. Quick disclaimer, I'm a Frost main, and I am inclined to change the groups at any point. You're going to see that in this video, a Warframe I only put in Good tier, which is just over needs a rework. I'm actually moving them up to Great. There's 5 tiers. Hydroid, which is the worst. You can obviously tell which Warframe's there. Needs a rework, Good, Great, and God. 5 tiers. So, and 4 main tiers, but one of them is just a Warframe that was so bad I couldn't put them in an actual tier. Let's start off strong, puns, with Atlas, the One Punch Man. He is incredibly strong, and he can take down a lot of people. Like, let's say I get a bunch of Corrupted Heavy Gunners. Let me lower their level a bit, because he does struggle against higher levels, but he has one of the best. You cast it. It's like this. He has one of the best first abilities in the game. That's his third. You can put them to stone when you punch them. As you can tell, it's kind of powerful. That's why he's the punching man. And also, if you see on the right, you can get up to 1500 armor, and every time you kill someone with Landslide, which is first ability, it's one punch. Every time you kill someone with it, they drop a little rock, and you pick that rock up, and it actually heals you or gives you armor if you're at full health. So I actually really like that. Dude, look at this. I mean, sure, his second and fourth ability are useless, pretty much. I mean, look at this. I barely use any energy. Also, a cool thing to say about him, well, his prime's out, and 2, whenever you're using Landslide, he's invincible. So basically, while you're punching people, they can't damage you. And it's got a... No, it's just 4. Okay. See, the rock's there, I picked it up, and now I'm at 900 something armor. These are fairly high level enemies, and he's still making little work of them. His fourth ability summons in giant rock people that don't do very much damage, and his second ability makes a tiny rock wall that blocks some damage. But yeah, he's one of the most powerful. This isn't really to do with the game, but in a mini game called Frame Fighter, he's one of the most powerful. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why he's on Great. The next Warframe, sadly, is not in... I do not have this Warframe. It is Baruch. The reason he's good is because he has an ability that can put people to sleep. He has an ability that makes him evade all damage. And he has an ability that, can do a ton of damage, which is an exalted weapon. If you don't know what an exalted weapon is, you should not be looking at a Warframe tier list. But just so you don't know, it's a weapon that the Warframe has as one of their abilities. Let's say you use a fourth, and you summon a sword that does a lot of damage. And it takes energy instead of, it takes energy and it does more damage than normal weapons. That's what an exalted weapon is. Next. Okay, this one I actually have. Hildrin. Now, the reason she's on this list is, actually pretty good. She was the only Warframe that uses shields instead of energy, which means that she has a potential for unlimited energy. 1, crowd control. 2, damage. This is an exalted weapon, by the way. There's her first ability. As you can see, her shields are gonna run out, but still. That's because I was using that. Yep, and that made my ability cancel, but since I've got Guardian on, I can just use the spam fire. She does a lot of damage, and I'm running a fairly low strength build. These are level 100 enemies. I mean, I was charging them earlier, but well, you know. You can run certain arcanes for shield charging. Again, I don't really have those. Another ability she has is really awesome. It's called Shield Pillage, which lets her do that. I have not 4,000 shields. And, yeah. Her exalted weapon is kind of like a giant static core, which is one of my favorite It's my favorite secondary in the entire game, so... She's really good. Her third ability is useless, and her fourth ability lets her become a helicopter mom. Stupid. I just find it for the fun. But yeah, just lets her do that. So... Her fourth ability is mainly just crowd control. First ability is her damage, and her second ability is the ability that lets her recharge all of her shields with high enough level enemies. Also, a really cool build that you can do on her is one where you run minimal shields. Because her passive is every time your shields get depleted, you get like 5 seconds of invincibility until your shields recharge again. Which means if you have really low shields, you just gotta survive for a very short time before you're invincible again. So that's her like kind of end game build. But yeah. Next on the list is Equinox. I misspelled it on my paper. Equiox. It's Equinox. Now, I might get some hate for this. People should probably say she should be in like the best tier. She's alright. I'm not really an Equinox person, but yeah. What her special thing is, whenever you cast your first ability, you switch your abilities. Which means that technically, if you count your first ability, basically you have 7 abilities as this Warframe. Now, I don't really know what most of the abilities do actually. Her second one, it either increases enemies' damage vulnerability and increases their speed, so it makes them take more damage and move faster, or it makes them go to sleep. Your third ability gives you power strength, and night gives you damage multiplier. And I'm pretty sure like you get energy back for killing enemies. I don't really understand these things. Mend and Maim, this one is one of her most powerful abilities of all time. I'm just gonna show you this. This is the reason why she's awesome. So Mend, what it does, if I cast it, basically, the more damage I do and the more enemies I kill, you see 65,000, 130,000? That's how much health I'm gonna heal when I press it, if I take some damage. Let me, cast this. So wait, no, I didn't mean to fall off the edge, dang it. And we get Mend. Maim is equally as powerful, but Mend is like her only healing ability. So, I like it. So, if I turn off invincible, a little bit of damage, take a little bit of damage. Okay, let's do this. And then I cast that and I'm at full health and full shields. So that's just, and that's what Mend does. What Maim does is if, let's say I swap forms. The Maim puts slash procs on everything. And every time you kill an enemy, it stores up some damage. So let's use my weapon. So let's store up 160,000 damage, and you can unleash it all in one attack. Now, it's pretty garbage for, really high levels, but... yeah, I mean, it's garbage for high levels, but it can do a lot of damage, so I'm just gonna try to store as much damage as I possibly can. And I will, yeah, I'm just gonna store like 1,000,000 damage and see if I can one-shot a heavy gunner. I mean, Equinox is really powerful. Like, I mean, right now I've got 200,000 damage stored. And this is just like, this is her map nuking ability. This is the one that she's known for. And also, the slash procs actually do a lot of damage in lower levels. So you can like nuke entire maps just using the slash procs alone. So, she's good. Not the best, not my favorite, but she's good. Next is a Warframe that I do not use very much. Gara. She's not even max rank, oh dear. The thing about her third ability is useless, but everything else is crazy powerful. And her passive is pretty neat too. It blinds people when you're in bright areas. What her first ability does, it scales off of melee mods, if you didn't know. It doesn't have any crit chance, but it does increasing damage with melee mods. Mine's doing about 2,000 right now. And yeah, her second ability gives you 90% damage reduction, if I can cast it on myself. 90% damage reduction for however long the duration is. It's absurdly long because I like having high duration on characters. And it does damage when you touch things. Now, you might say, 325 is not that much. You're right. So if I cast the fourth ability, which is like a frost, which is just an area of effect defense ability, and use my first ability on it, now it's up to 7,000. And, I'm not done yet. You see, the thing about Gara is you can stack this infinitely, and every time you cast a Vitrify, which is your fourth ability, you reset the duration of her second ability. So, I'm going to be doing increasing amounts of damage, while these enemies are constantly crowd controlled and doing barely any damage to me. It's going to take quite a long time and a lot of energy. She needs more energy. And I'm not very good at building Warframe. But she can stay alive for one of the longest times, and I don't think I really give her enough credit, honestly. Oh, wait, no, I didn't. There you go. Now at about 30,000. You can see it's doing substantial damage to these enemies, but then again, you could just shoot them with a gun, or hit them with a melee weapon that has insane damage. So, it's up to you guys. I mean, it does a lot of damage. Yeah. She's good, it's just, and therefore her third ability just puts a bunch of mirrors and makes the enemy shoot themselves. Yeah, useless. But, yeah, she's pretty good. 90% damage reduction alone is what's getting her up on this list. So, next is a Warframe that I got recently that I actually haven't used for a while. The Running Boy. Gauss, or Gauss, or however you pronounce his freaking name. First ability makes you the fastest frame in the entire game. For a while. I mean, yeah, and also you notice his passive, there's a bar to the right. It makes all your abilities better. Second ability gives him damage reduction like up to 90%, I think. So, I mean, that's already really nice. Plus with melee blocking, which is like, I can just do this. I'm not blocking. Why am I not blocking? Block. Oh, I can't block. I'm invincible. Then you can just you can make everything frozen solid. And then you can blast proc them, which strips armor. I don't know if it's doing it right now, but it does strip armor eventually, but it does strip a bit of armor. It takes a while. Yeah. And like he's very, very, he's not tanky, but there is a way that you can get 100% damage reduction with kinetic plating. But it's just, yeah. Thermal Sunder freezes everything. Oh, this is Furious, by the way. It's actually a powerful weapon. But yeah, you just freeze everything, and it's actually really good damage reduction. Not as good as, like, let's say, like, Frost with a good duration build, but I don't run those kind of builds on Frost. I run, like, a build, like, I run a build that's a bit different than what you normally run. But yeah, and then you use this, also if you just run around, he has the fastest base sprint speed in the game. But yeah, he's pretty powerful. Now, about his fourth ability, let me respawn these enemies. It's called Redline. It makes his armor open up, and it makes him have the last part of his bar active. Which, if you don't know what that does, also if you slam into walls with Redline, you, cause flash procs. So, well, if you slam into walls with kinetic plating, it causes, flash procs. Oh yeah. Now, I fire like a Gatling gun. I have 100% damage reduction, which I will show you right now. Turn off invincibility. You'll see, I'm not going to take any damage. They do all the damage they want to me, it's not going to do anything. And then, mixed with his crowd control, It's just bloody insane. I mean, yeah, you see some of those enemies' armor is like completely stripped. And it is... He's insane. I actually haven't tested it out in a while. But, oh my god, he is awesome. He's actually one of my, he's one of my favorite Warframes because he's one of the few Warframes that can put cold procs on enemies. But yeah. Just keep your bar up using Mock Rush, use Energy Siphon, keep Mock Rush up, and then yeah, you're at 100% and you fire like a Gatling gun. This is incredibly ammo inefficient, but if I cast fire, it literally just completely strips the enemy of their armor. Look at that. Which makes them super easy to kill with melee weapons, by the way. Yeah, Gauss is actually one of the, or Gauss, I don't know how to pronounce it, is one of the most powerful Warframes in the entire game. I'd have to say. I should probably play him more. I mean, with this kind of performance, I mean, geez, that's 30 seconds. They actually buffed him a lot. And by a lot, I mean a lot. As in, like, Redline used to only last for 15 seconds when it was fully charged. Now it's, a little bit better than that. Yeah, it's just a little bit better. Trying to find a place where I can put on some more, duration. I might want to, yeah, I'm gonna have to format him some more. But yeah, there's also a build I made over here, which is made for, spamming heat procs and killing the entire room. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why he's up here. I'm actually, yeah, he's insane. And the only reason he's not in God tier is because if you don't have kinetic plating on, you are going to get one shot. And by one shot, I mean hardcore one shot. Like, they're going to kill you instantly. Let me just go out there without Redline. Redline's overpowered. Look at this. I'm just gonna run around. I mean, sure, they can't hit me. When they, I mean, sure, his reliability is decent, and I've got, yeah, and he's meant to be not hit at all, but, yeah, he's just, I mean, sure, he can do what he's supposed to do, and, like, you just run in, cast Thermal Thunder, you freeze a bunch of people, and then you shoot them. And yeah, you're just supposed to, like, I mean, you don't have very many shields, but what you do have is actually it's actually half decent. But yeah, but with Redline active, you're immortal. Oh yeah, I died because I have a mod on him called Quick Thinking, which means whenever I get to 0 health, it, keeps me alive. Yeah, let's say I put on Redline. That max charge and just run around because, yeah, Redline's actually really insane because it makes him take no damage. Like, he literally takes no damage on max Redline. Look at this. They can shoot me as much as they want. Actually, no, it's not 100% anymore, I don't think. I'm pretty sure it's like 95. And every time they shoot me, they get damaged. Just cast a blast proc. Their armor just all gets destroyed. And he does some pretty insane damage while in this form too. I mean, geez, that's also okay. I'm gonna die. Yeah, the only problem with him is his survivability, which is the only reason I'm actually going to move him up to God tier. Just you hear here, this is the first God tier. He's just so insane. I just have to. Next on the list is Grendel, another Warframe I don't have. He can eat enemies, and he's insane. He's one of the newer Warframes, and he's really good. Check him out. He can eat people and do a ton of damage. And survive, because he's a health tank. Next on the list is Ivara, which also, she just got her new Prime, which I don't have. But yeah, one of her two main kit things, which I use. She has invisibility that's drain over time, which means as long as you have energy, you are going to be completely invisible. And if you use a melee weapon, look at those crit bonuses. I mean, just nothing can kill her. Yeah, also she has a bow and arrow, which does a literal ton of damage for very little energy. And I don't even have a full build on her. Yes, you can't bullet jump anymore without going out of invisibility. But yeah. Her second ability lets you take control of, let's say I want to be a I don't know, let's say an Artemis bow shot. I can be one of the arrows and control it and go hit enemies with it. I can go really fast, or I can go fairly slow to actually aim. If I hit a wall, it doesn't, yeah. Let's say I spawn some of these guys. I just on the energy because it uses so much energy. But yeah, let's just fire this. And watch this, just you can go through multiple enemies too. Got 6,000. It's nice. The main thing of this reason she's on this list is because she can go invisible. Her first ability is pretty neat too. Like you can swap between, like you can actually those little circles right there make you go invisible. So let's say I almost people go to sleep. This is what Cloak Arrow does. It like makes you go invisible without actually having to use your first ability. Dash Wire makes a tripwire, which you can run on. Which actually is the only way that she can actually run while invisible. So yeah. And then like her noise distracts enemies. And sleep makes enemies, well, you go invisible so they can't hit me. Makes enemies go to sleep, which is actually a very, very good tool, might I add. Yeah, she's got the wrong arcane, so I'm attacking absurdly slow. What is wrong with my build? Oh, I'm running stat stick. I was running that build the entire time. What? That is, like, incredibly dumb. Yeah, this is more accurate damage. Put the enemies to sleep. It's actually really powerful. Like, when enemies are sleeping, you get a crit bonus. And yeah, also when you're close to enemies with this, you steal their stuff. Yeah, I'm stealing their stuff right now. You can actually generate energy orbs from that, which is nice. So yeah, all in all, Ivara is actually a really good Warframe. And I definitely check her out. Next on the list is Limbo. One of my least favorite Warframes, but I had to put him on Great because he is probably one of the best crowd controls in the game. Not only can he enter his own dimension where he takes no damage whatsoever. Yeah, you heard me right. He can enter his own dimension where he takes no damage. Watch this. But you can't damage things either. So, if you could, that'd be overpowered. And you can also freeze people in time. That's one of the reasons he's up here, because he is ridiculously powerful. And just watch this with a melee weapon. Look at this. Just look at that. That is one of the reasons he's up here. For the life of me, I could not put him in top tier because I hate this Warframe. I hate playing with other people who are playing him, and I'm not really a big fan of playing him myself. So I could not bring myself to put him in the best tier, but he kind of deserves to be in that tier. So he's an honorary mention for God tier. He's insane. He regenerates his own energy while in this dimension, and it's just really good. He's really powerful. Next is Mesa. Wow. So she The reason she's up here, I have a prime. The reason she's up here is, well, her first ability is useless. Her second ability gives you 90% damage reduction. Again, it's very nice. Wait, no, her third ability gives you 90% damage reduction. Her second ability stuns enemies in place. Block here. It makes enemies' guns jam and stuns them in place. And her fourth ability does this. Yeah, you're seeing this, people. I am shredding level 99 corrupted heavy gunners in seconds. Yeah, it takes a lot of energy, sure, but oh my gosh, this is more insane than I remember. Just look at that. That is why she's in this tier. One reason she's not in a higher tier is because her first ability is useless, and she's actually fairly difficult to build. Plus 90% damage reduction doesn't really get you very far anymore. So, plus, she's just kind of a hassle to play, and her fourth ability has too much energy drain, but that's it. Yeah, it's just kind of a hassle to use her. But she's amazing nonetheless, and a great pick if you're going to choose a Warframe to use. Next on the line is Necros, which does not have any damage dealing abilities. He is mainly he's a character that's really hard to explain his abilities. Like, I have to go up on the enemy level just so I can show you what his abilities do. You're seeing a recurring trend here. First ability, useless. Second ability actually scares enemies into not actually hitting you. So it's kind of nice. It's nice that they're running like little chickens. His third ability makes enemies drop more loot. Which means if you look at this, they're dropping health. There's an augment which makes it take health, with health for health. There's a build you can do, which literally, as you can see the three with like the little gear looking thing in the top left corner, makes you have 90% damage reduction, plus infinite heals, which makes him one of the tankiest characters in the game. Oh yeah, also, every enemy you kill means you can spawn one, because you're the necromancer. You can spawn them from the dead to, I don't know, distract enemies from shooting you. Because they don't do damage, and they take damage over time. So, they're not really that helpful. Yeah, it's like, see, I'm taking barely any damage, and this is ending the charge stuff. And, I mean, you're going to be killing stuff quite often. And just looking at this damage, I mean, I'm using my melee weapon. I mean, you can do the same thing with like a Galatine Prime. I just prefer my war scythe. Yeah, he is basically immortal. He has infinite heals as long as you're killing stuff, pretty much. And he's really, really tanky. So even though his base armor is trash, like, let me show you his base armor. It's like 15 or 75. 65 base armor, which is nothing compared to a Warframe who's on God tier. He still can tank because there's a mod called Health Conversion, which means whenever you pick up an energy orb, it gives you, like, 450 armor, which is not percentage, so it just gives you 450, and it stacks 3 times. That's over 1200 armor, which means it's like 75% damage reduction. So, really good. That's why Necros is on here. He's a good Warframe, and everyone should have one. Next is a Warframe I have. There's another one on this list that I don't have. Neja, or however you pronounce this guy's name. Yes, he's a guy. Don't judge. He's really good, especially after the new update, because I'm just going to bump these enemies level up some more, because I'm going to need to, because if I want to see them do any damage to him, I'm going to have to bump their level up. Do this, they damage me, they increase the base health of it. I have fire flips. I literally set enemies on fire with my feet, and now with fire procs, reduce their armor by 50%, which means I shred them pretty fast. Pick a normal enemy that doesn't have it, right there. Push an enemy that does have it, right there. I'm gonna have to recast what in here was. Yeah, as you can see, I'm doing a lot more damage. Next, Blazing Chakram, which goes for a bunch of enemies and increases the damage you do to them. Also, they can drop health orbs when affected by Blazing Chakram, which means it's just really powerful. Dang it. And also, you're basically invincible as you're charging up Blazing Chakram, which is pretty much an invincibility, like, on demand. And he pretty much has access to infinite heals, like, well, it's not 100% heals, like, it's not, like, the most, like, consistent thing in the world, but it still heals, and he also can regenerate energy. Another thing with him, yeah, Firewalker, it makes him walk faster. Another thing, he's got crowd control, where you can impale people. It's neat. So, yeah, it's just really good. Blazing Chakram by far is one of his best skill sets, because it increases the damage you do to enemies, which, I mean, I don't really need. But still. And also, if you throw it, you can teleport to it. But yeah, it makes you do more damage to enemies, which is nice. And he's just really tanky. He can sustain himself without using a lifesteal weapon, which I still have a lifesteal weapon on. And he's just really good. I mean, he does require big groups of enemies to sustain his health in high-level missions, but he's one of the best Warframes in the game. He used to be garbage, but now he's actually pretty good. There's two more Warframes. One of them I don't have, Octavia. Let me go on to her right now. She's like right there. She's a music girl. She can literally give you every single buff in the game, and they're huge, like damage buff, multi-shot buff, speed buff. She can turn you invisible. She has every buff in the game. She's a very good Warframe, and she has a lot of damage too. And finally, the last Warframe on Great Tier is this guy, Bulky Boy, Rhino. He has been in the game for a very long time. I'm gonna run a build like he's very old and he's showing his age, which is a good thing. It's my Eidolon Hunter setup. Charge is a terrible ability unless you're using the augment, which means the more enemies that you hit with charge, the more enemies you hit with it, the more health you have for your second ability, which basically just makes you invincible. It takes damage. It's like it just takes damage. Like I've got 6,000 damage I can take without actually taking damage. And it's really nice. And if I run out, as augment lets me recast it. So I can recast it, and I'm invincible. And also you're protected from all static threats. So, fire at them, melee them, do whatever. Third ability just gives you a straight damage increase. Like, mine does 104%. But yeah, once his iron skin goes down, you're gonna die. But he does have iron skin to protect him, so. Fourth ability, just an AoE crowd control. Of course, this build isn't a very good build for that. I think I actually have a build for that. Let me go put it on. It is one of the best crowd controls in the game, I will say. Pretty sure no, I do not have a stomp build. Dang it. Anyways, that is... yeah, he's pretty good. Anyways, this video is incredibly long, and I've got probably one more part to this, because that was the most Warframes I'll be going on in a single video. The last part will go up in probably a few days, and yeah, I'll be talking about pretty much the best of the best. Now, it doesn't matter which one you choose from Great or God tier, both of them are absolutely amazing. It's just a matter of what Warframe you like better. I mean, some Warframes you might play and say, hey, that's the best Warframe in the game. Well, then that's your own tier list. This is my tier list. Heavily opinionated, as in Warframes that I enjoy or have a higher chance of being at the top than Warframes that I don't. So why Chroma was in good when he is one of the most tanky and damage-dealing Warframes in the game. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed and found this video informative. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and share it to your friends so they can see this too. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time.